all 3 priority targets down.
What's going on YouTube? How's everybody doing? It's Wheezy here, and we're back again with another build video. I do got to take the time to thank any subscribers, any followers, man. I can't appreciate you guys' love, man. You guys are awesome. You guys are amazing. If you are new to the channel, please go subscribe. Please go watch any previous videos. Please go follow me on Twitch at Wheezy_2588. I can't thank you enough. You guys are great, man. Thank you, thank you, thank you. But without further ado, we are going to get into this build. First thing is specialization. We can either use 2 specializations in this case, either the firewall or the technician. If we use the firewall, we're going to use it for the extra 20% burn duration for enriched magnesium formula here. Make sure you got all the other talents unlocked. The guns you're using, we're mainly going to be using it for the extra 20% burn duration. If you use a fire skill or a burn skill, the firewall is what you want to use. If you don't use the firewall and a fire skill, you definitely want to come over and use the technician. All right, the technician will give you an extra +1 skill tier. You can finagle the build around a little bit to get an extra armor roll or an extra weapon damage roll on a certain piece of gear. Make sure you got everything else unlocked. Dismantling. You want to come down here to overclock CPU. Make sure the 10% skill damage is unlocked as well, and everything else in it. When we get into the build, we're wearing a 4-piece Eclipse. All right, the Vile Mask and Wyvern Gloves. When we get into the chest piece, indirect transmission is what unlocks for 4 pieces. Your status effects now spread on kill to all enemies within 10 meters and refresh 50% of the duration. It comes with skill tier. We got max status effects roll and a max haste mod. Now the talent proliferation here increases direct transmission range from 10 meters to 15 meters and refreshes percent from 50% to 75. So this is enhancing the meters and the duration of all your status effects. When we get into the backpack, comes with skill tier. We got max status effects and the max haste mod. Symptom aggravator is the talent on the backpack. Amplifies all damage you deal to status affected targets by 30%. Any of your status effects damage, all amplified damage is applied to that enemy. Holsters, pretty simple. Comes with skill tier. We roll status effects max. Same thing for the knee pads here. Comes with skill tier. We got status effects roll max. We get into the mask here. We got the Vile Mask. It's okay if you don't have this. You can replace it for the Eclipse mask here. Just make sure it has status effects. You can make the build a little bit differently. You don't need the Vile Mask, but in this case, we are using it. It is mainly the best way. We got status effects, hazard protection, and a max haste roll in the mod. Toxic delivery. Status effects also apply damage over time debuff for 10 seconds. This is a perfect synergy for the status effects you are applying. As soon as you apply a status effect, toxic delivery is also applied as well, dealing more damage over time in its own category. Beautiful synergy. The gloves we're using is Wyvern. We got max status effects roll and skill damage. Comes with skill tier. And we're getting the extra 10% skill damage. You can use Golem also as well for the extra 10% status effects. Me personally, I just like the extra little bit of skill damage for the skills to hit a little bit harder while they're doing a lot of status effects. As for the skills, you can use any 2 skills that apply status effects. Any 2 skills. I mainly like to use Burn because it's very, very strong, very, very potent to these enemies. But you can use any other skill you want. The Jammer, the Fire Sticky, the Flame Turret. You can use anything. Blinder, Firefly, anything that applies status effects, this is the build for it. I mainly use the Fire Starter. We got 8 shots on this thing. This thing is... You just make sure your aim is nice and right with it, and just make sure you're hitting the enemies and passing on that fire. It's a beautiful thing. The second skill that I do use, if you don't use 2 status effect skills, is use a Restorer Hive here. This can heal your team. You're already at 6 tiers. It's a beautiful heal, that can just, help you survive and your team. Definitely good to use. If not, use 2 skills that apply status effects. You can also use any guns you want. The main talent you're going to want on your gun is the talent Perpetuation. This headshots grant 50% status effect damage and duration. You definitely want to be proccing this before you set your status effects out there and hit the enemies with it, because this is going to enhance it 50% more, the damage and the duration. This will let it carry on longer and pass on to the next enemies longer. You can use that on any one of your guns. Another talent that I like to use is Future Perfect. We're already at 6 tiers, so as soon as we get a kill, find a low health enemy and finish him off with your weapon with Future Perfect. You can put your skills in the overcharge for 15 seconds and then dish out your status effects and all of that, and it'll be in overcharge. The second gun I do like to use when I do like to shoot is the Pestilence. Once your status effects are out there and everything's procced and everything's going on in your transmission, you can actually shoot the Pestilence, and this will connect perfect synergy with it as well. Its own separate category damage. It acts and it takes it's a debuff dealing weapon damage, and it also synergizes with the mask and your status effects. It's a beautiful weapon. Now, if you choose to use the Technician instead of the Firewall, and you're not using any fire burn skills, then make sure your skill tier is unlocked here. You can take if you don't have the Vile Mask, even if you don't have the Vile Mask, you can still use the Eclipse, and we can switch it around like this, and we can go a Golan chest piece. Golan is an extra 10% status effects, because we're already using Wyvern gloves. You can also go the glass cannon route. I have a glass cannon Golan here. It's unfortunate that it's not rolled status effects, but until we find it, that is the perfect piece for this situation. Golan comes with armor. Just make sure you roll skill tier over the armor. All right, glass cannon is more damage, but you do have to be more careful. If you want to take this route, that will work as well. But you're using the Technician, so this one right here would be the better one. We have status effects rolled here, glass cannon, and we're going to keep the armor roll because we're using the Technician. When you're using the Technician, it'll keep you at 6 tiers, and you can have an extra armor roll on your gear. Should look like this, something like this, similar to this. But other than that, that's the way I like to keep it is using the Eclipse chest piece and using the Vile Mask. I believe this is a better way to go. It's way more effective. The duration of your status effects lasts longer, carries on longer. It's a very, very potent and toxic build. It's like a disease. It spreads and passes on. If you can catch the enemies in spawns, in their doorways, or in their spawn areas, and get a fire starter in there, or hit them with any status effects that you have, that's the way. That's definitely the way to go, and you can control them very, very well. Very, very good crowd control build here. That is pretty much the build, guys. I do appreciate you guys' time. I can't thank you enough. You guys are awesome. If you are new to the channel, please go subscribe. Please go follow me on Twitch. I can't thank you guys enough, man. You guys be easy, be safe. Wheezy out.